And they're off. Large fields and huge parimutuel pools result in the best opportunity to profit betting horse racing on Breeders' Cup weekend. WagerTalk's own horse racing expert, Sig, will be joined by handicapper and horse racing contest expert Sean Alvarez as they preview the entire field for Breeders' Cup weekend in the 2021 WagerTalk Breeders' Cup preview and wagering guide. You will receive the WagerTalk You Pick special is live, giving you the option to pick the league of your choice and get 30 days of picks for only $99. 30 days of the NFL for $99, done. Just want NBA and NHL for the next month? You can do that for only $99 each. That's right, $99 gets you every release from the league of your choice from your favorite handicapper, including 5% best bets for 30 days. No coupon code is required, and 30-day sports passes will go back to regular price Sunday at midnight. So lock in as many sports and handicappers for only $99 before time runs out.
All right, guys, welcome in. Happy Friday. It is time to talk a little association, the NBA tip-off show powered by WagerTalk.com. We got 9 games in the NBA here tonight. We're going to break down our customary, 4 of them for you here on the show. And we're going to do it, of course, with 3 of the finest NBA handicappers at Wager Talk. Tony Mejia in the house. Rob Vino smirking and all there. I know he's got a first half total for you guys here somewhere over the next 25, 30 minutes. And also Kevin Dolan, fresh from the conversion to the Church of the Contrarian Gods. I understand that he did a little converting over since Wednesday. Last we saw each other there.
Today.
No beads, no.
Today.
He's got, that's right, he's got his contrarian thong on, and he is ready to go here. Tony Mejia, my friend, talk to me. I know you got a lot going on right now, but talk to me about the association. Last night, how'd you do? And, of course, what do you got locked and loaded here as we head into the weekend at WagerTalk.com?
Yeah, it was really disturbing to see Dolan doing all that chanting in the pre-show, doing the exorcisms. My NBA night was pretty good, 2-1, and then you wonder if you get too cute because I went with the Jazz in the first half against the Raptors instead of full game. Just figured that it would be we'd have a better shot of a strong start as opposed to getting backdoored, and it was the absolute opposite. Raptors hung around with a little Fred VanVleet magic in the second quarter. And actually, I think we're tied or up by 2 against Utah. So that was my only loss last night. And then the Jazz went on to dominate. But yeah, I did hit a 4% and doing okay in NBA. So Fridays have been great. So looking forward to a big day tonight. And one of my client plays will be my best bet on the show. And then I'll add a few others. So that, a 5% in college football, and then college basketball in full swing with Feast Week. So got to eat.
Amen to that. A lot of different ways to look at the board here tonight and into the weekend. And Rob Vino, my friend, talk to me. We'll get into some of the games that we witnessed last night, like the Golden State as well as the Denver Nuggets throwing up all over each other there. That was a lot of fun to watch, Rob. But I know you're locked and loaded. 5% best bets, from what I understand, locked and loaded for this weekend.
Yeah, they come in college football, Joe, and there's potential for NFL. I said it earlier to you that it's been 2 years, maybe more than 2 years here at Wager Talk with a 5% on a Saturday and a Sunday. But card looks that good this weekend. So definitely be on the lookout, WagerTalk.com. Last night at 2-1. I wish I could break it down as well as Tony did and let people know that I'm really good on Fridays. That would be so great to say, but I don't know that as of yet. So I'll have to see how I've done on a daily basis. But Joe, congratulations to you. Let me say this before you move on to our good friend from Ireland underneath me here. To make that call that Steph and Draymond might not play the second of back-to-backs. Man, there was some line movement this afternoon. Like we haven't seen in quite some time. 10 points on a total, 9 points on a side. But you were there before the pack, so we'll pat you on the back for that one.
I appreciate it. We were in a text last night, a text chain, and I said, "Listen, guys, Steph just had to put 35 minutes into this game to win it in the fourth, so not necessarily something Golden State was hoping would happen. He was hoping for like 12 minutes, and then I rest the rest of the game. We're good to." Yeah, it took a big fourth quarter for him to get it done last night. So to no shock that maybe they'll take the foot off the gas with the G League Detroit Pistons here tonight. And well, Kev, I got to ask you, man, I know you've been going, you know, a lot of praying, the rosaries, the whole nine. Last we saw, you were looking for the Knicks and a 30-point blowout against Orlando. That didn't work out. But I know you're locked and loaded soccer this weekend. Obviously, NHL. You are off and running there. Talk to us about what's going on this weekend for you at WagerTalk.
Yeah, I'm a fully converted member now of the Contrarian Church, and I look forward to all the sermons. But yeah, you know, good night last night with 2-1 on the Cured, one in NFL, one in college football as well on Louisville. So that was good. And you know, we got an absolutely stacked card this weekend. We got a 5% college 5-pack up for tomorrow. We got a 4% NFL 4-pack up for Sunday as well. We got NBA best bet tonight. So it's all good. And yeah, looking forward to breaking down some of these games.
All right, well, let's do it here, guys. Of course, no better place to start than our contrarian play of the day. We got to get like that whoa music going on here for you so everyone knows it is the Church of the Contrarian play of the day. And we are going to take a look here at the Indiana Pacers taking on the Charlotte Hornets in this one tonight. Now, a lot of public love certainly early on for Charlotte here, but we do have a little reverse line movement with the Pacers. This opened up right around 3 for Charlotte, -3. But there has been a little bit of Pacer love somewhere in the ballpark, but still a very small percentage of the tickets on Indiana. And listen, the Pacers have not been good. They have not been able to score. They have not been good lately. Charlotte's on a 4-game winning streak. So I get why the public at large would like Charlotte here. But do we trust the Hornets enough to be able to continue this streak? We know they've had some problems defensively here, Tony Mejia. So could be a get-right situation for Indiana here tonight. Are you willing to cross the public and say, you know what? Go ahead, give me the Pacers tonight to win outright on the road?
So straight up, what are the contrarian gods telling me to do here?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Go with the dog.
So the Pacers getting this is a short line. I was expecting to get 3.5, 4 at least, especially with Indiana's struggles. The fact they're closing out a road trip. So yeah, but the contrarian gods are still saying Pacers.
Well, the contrarian gods picked this game when it was -3.5. So I'm going to assume here now that somebody heard the contrarian gods screaming and decided to bet Indiana, because it has certainly moved that way. But again, still 82% of the tickets look like they're on Charlotte here.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to go with Indiana too, because my system is when I see a line like this where I'm expected to get more, and you know, logic is being defied here, and I guess that's the same contrarian principle. You know, it leads me to want to go that route. So Indiana lost 123-122 in Charlotte. That was a really memorable first game of the season. Came down to the wire. I think it was a game of runs where Indiana, I think, got off early and Charlotte made a big comeback, or vice versa. I really don't recall that. I just know that was the LaMelo Ball, hey, I'm going to be really great in my second season announcement right out of the gate. And you know, I think Rick Carlisle is going to figure this out with the Pacers, but we have seen a dip in Domantas Sabonis's production. You know, they're not playing through him as much as they did. Malcolm Brogdon's been in and out of the lineup. Now they're out Chris Duarte, a really talented rookie. And Karis LeVert is in more of a playmaker role now that he's healthy. So a lot of moving parts there. Charlotte, a little more defined in terms of what we've come to expect from them. Miles Bridges is having a borderline all-star season. and he's going to get paid down the road. And LaMelo Ball, like I mentioned, really having a breakout year. So, the total also is way off from what I would have expected. I would have thought it would have been higher. But again, I think that the 84 points that the Pacers scored to open the trip in New York and the 89 they managed and getting blown out by the Pistons of all teams probably baked into that. But if we're riding the Pacers tonight, I would expect it to be in a high-scoring game. So maybe a correlation there with Indiana and the over.
Yeah, I mean, it's I get it, right? I mean, the Hornets' last couple of games against Pistons and the Knicks were not great. Scoring has been the issue for them, but we also know Charlotte has had some issues on the defensive side of things here. So it was 3.5 to open here. Do you agree with the reverse line shift here? And Indiana might be the way to go.
I probably should agree with contrarian gods, Joe. I mean, they always get the best of the number, apparently, too. They got 3.5, so how the hell are you going to beat these guys? Send a text to my neighbors that if they see somebody in the woods at dark tonight, it's just me looking for a goat to try and sacrifice to get rid of these contrarian gods because they're a pain in the ass. The truth. Listen, I don't know what they were looking at when this game is -1. Now, I'll say this. Yesterday on the show, Joe, we talked a little bit about these younger teams. There's multiple teams across the NBA, whereas I go through quotes from players and coaches each day and night, a lot of talk about defense. And, our defense sparks our offense. And when we're playing defense, Charlotte's one of those teams. You can't find an article written on this team in the last 8 days where they're not talking about defense. Puts them in transition, and that's where they're at their best. There's numbers to back it up. The Indiana side, I mean, if you didn't know any better and you just had to guess what's happened to Indiana, you'd probably get it right. You'd say, well, they now have Rick Carlisle as their head coach. Because Indiana, this would be a game last year that I wouldn't have flinched at playing over. 215.5 with these two teams. Are you kidding me? But now, Pacers, 7 of their last 10 opponents, they held them to 43% or less from the field. That's fantastic defense. The Hornets, 6 of their last 9, they've shot 44% or less. That matches up to Indiana having a good defensive night tonight against this team. Charlotte, though, defensively has held their last 4 opponents to 42% or less. Those opponents include Memphis, good offense, Golden State, good offense, Knicks, good offense, and the Washington Wizards with Bradley Beal. So both of these teams are playing exceptional on that end of the floor. It really speaks more to the under than it does to the side in this game. The Pacers are now 9-2 under in their last 11. Charlotte's 4-0 under in their last 4. I guess, 1 point's not enough to get me to the Indiana side because I think Charlotte's probably a little bit better, but I don't know that I want the other team either, the way these two are playing defense right now. Maybe just because, as Tony said, Rick Carlisle, they're going through a learning phase with him. Maybe for that reason, Charlotte's a little ahead of the curve right now, and I'd look that way. But I don't think I want Indiana +1. I would probably need a little bit more.
All right, so we got it's it. Well, yeah, it would have been great if you got the 3 when it opened. I will say this though, a lot of this seems that once Duarte went down, it's interesting enough. The offensive woes seem to have taken center stage here for Indiana. And I'll also say this here, that Washington game you're talking about, I think it was Wednesday, that was a pickup. The power ratings wise, I'm seeing Washington, Indiana within close. So I don't know why this opened up the way it did there. What do you think here, Kev? Should this, in all its, be a pick'em game? Do you agree with it?
Well, I tell you one thing, I'm not standing in front of it. I know that, Joe, but I don't know. Rob mentioned some of the numbers there for Charlotte defensively. I don't know if I'm still completely sold on the Charlotte's own defense, kind of masterclass they're putting on right now. Whether it's kind of a flash in the pan or they've actually changed. This is a team, that has kept preaching defense over recent games. And it's worked for them, obviously. Held opponents just 95 points per game over the last 3 starts. But those season-long metrics are still really, really poor. Stone last in the league this year in opponent scoring. They're giving up 113.3 points per game on average. They're 24th on defensive efficiency, 26th on defensive rebound percentage, 29th on opponent assists this season also, both overall and at home. So, we'll kind of see if this recent, defensive renaissance they got going on down in Charlotte right now is for real. Because if it's not, Indiana, might provide a banana skin tonight. But I agree with Tony. I have to look at the total in this one. I think it's a couple of points too low, in my opinion. I made the game closer to 219. So, obviously, look, I'm in full agreement with the contrarian play as always, lean to the Pacers. But I kind of like the over tonight more in this one.
Yeah, kind of looking at the over. I tend to agree with that as well. But that's the game, guys. 7 o'clock here tonight. The steam has come in for the Indiana Pacers, agreeing with the contrarian gods here. Pacers +1 on the road, if they can get that offense going, taking down the Charlotte Hornets. All right, let's move on here to our featured game of the evening here, guys. Game number 1. Who else? The Lakers taking on the Boston Celtics in this one. -2 in an open for the Boston Celtics. I'm seeing 2.5s in a number of spots. I'm also seeing the total right around 213. So it's bouncing back and forth between where it opened. And the big news here, I guess, is, of course, whether or not LeBron James, who is listed as questionable, is going to hit the court here tonight. We know Jaylen Brown still out. Schroeder's, I believe, still questionable as well. Robert Williams. So there are some questions around this. But either way, LeBron or no LeBron here, Rob Vino, does it make a darn bit of difference here? Or does the number change for you? Because what kind of LeBron would we get anyway?
Yeah, I think that's certainly going to affect the line more than the other injuries that I'll bring up here. But I would think that, if you have no Dennis Schroeder, if you have no Robert Williams, which you didn't have the other night for the Celtics, added on to no Jaylen Brown, takes an awful lot away from Boston as well. We know that first game back home off of a road trip is a real thing for these teams. We saw Phoenix play Luka Doncic, Dallas Mavericks team the other night, where Luka wasn't even present and Phoenix couldn't cover the number first half or game. It was their first game back at home. Now, Boston wasn't on an extended road trip. I think it was only 3 games, but still, first game home is a little difficult. I would counter that by saying it's always my belief, guys, that Friday night home games, produce more points. Our Friday night games produce more points, and Friday night home teams usually benefit from the crowd much more than they do from a Tuesday night crowd, a Monday night crowd, whatever. So Boston, I think this is a national TV spot. The first game back at home might not apply to Boston here, but I do think the injuries make a difference. You're talking about if I consider Jaylen Brown shooting guard, I know he plays small forward, but the backcourt a little light here. Boston's a little bit small without Williams, and the Lakers could take advantage. Now, if LeBron plays or not, I'm not sure. What interested me, Joe, is the total here. If for the Boston Celtics, I think the 4 games prior to their last game, we saw openers go up or get put up by bookmakers, and then we saw these things where Boston is concerned, the totals get bet down, down, down for some unknown reason, because in 6 of their first 7 games, they allowed 115 points or more, which is crazy. But it came right after Marcus Smart had his little locker room tirade against his teammates, and all of a sudden they started playing defense. The games have gone under. They haven't allowed near 115, but twice ever since then. So defensive efforts probably there for Boston. I think the Lakers at this point in time might be a little bit deeper, especially if Schroeder and Williams don't go. And in that respect, I would probably lean towards the Lakers. Listen, if you want Lakers, you probably have to guess and bet them now. Because if they announce LeBron's playing, you're not getting 2.5 anymore. So a lot of guesswork involved, as there always is in the NBA. I think I would prefer the LA Lakers, though, in this game.
All right, liking the leaning Lakers here in this one prior to the announcement of LeBron. Does it make a difference to you here, Kev? Lakers on the road, Celtics back home. You trust them to get the job done here tonight?
Yeah, I agree with Rob. I actually did a full write-up on this game earlier on the WagerTalk news website. So great page to check out if you hadn't had the chance. Tons of free content over there from a load of different handicappers. Right at the top, at the tab on the WagerTalk website. So yeah, definitely worth a look. But in summary, basically what I said in that article was, the potential return of LeBron James for me tonight is huge. I said in Wednesday's show that while I leaned Lakers in that game, against the Bucks, they're just not a team I can trust without James on the court because there just seems to be some real chemistry issues with this Lakers squad. 3-5 without him since he went down with that, abdominal injury earlier in the month. Davis, Anthony, and Westbrook combined for just 47 points in that loss to the Bucks as well. Couldn't even eclipse, Giannis's solo effort in that game. And with all the superstars at their disposal, the fact that Horton Tucker, at just 20 years of age, has been the one to step up, and try to engineer some wins for this team with James's absence, has been telling to me. So I think James' return tonight, as I said, is huge from that chemistry perspective. And I like LA tonight to get the win and cover. Boston's numbers at home this season really have not been good. They're 29th in the league this season at home on defensive efficiency. Only the mighty Pelicans rank worse than them on a side note. By the way, I think I'm going to buy a Pelicans jersey this week. I think they're my team.
Yes.
Have decided. So, and back to this game, Boston are giving up 8 points per game more this season at home than they're giving up on the road. So, ton more reasons, obviously, in the article why I like LA. But yeah, with no Jaylen Brown tonight for the Celtics, his absence still huge, obviously, for this team. And if James comes back, kind of unites this team chemistry-wise, I think LA is the side here.
Yeah, Robert Williams, too, going to be is a big part of that also, whether or not he's going to go. But listen, just the idea of LeBron James early this morning, saw this right around 1. No definitive answer any which way, but it does appear that the market is moving towards the Celtics in this one. Do you agree, Tony Mejia?
Oh, well, I mean, like, this is a game that I'll handicap for you, but you can't do anything until you hear something. Roughly 6:30. Hopefully, cross our fingers, we get news. Look, LeBron James, if he comes back, obviously changes the Lakers' dynamic in terms of who the ball handler is, how hyped they are to play, how engaged they end up being in terms of defending and really being passionate about what they have to do to get a win on the road. This is a team that's allowing 112 points per game. That's not great. They're a minus 3-point differential. Obviously, based on preseason expectations, you would say that's brutal. And they put teams on the line second most of anybody in the league. So they're fouling too much. And yet, I want to back the under here. This is what I want to do. The number's exactly what I thought it would be. And when that happens, I usually think that the under is the play, especially this in this season where calls aren't as prevalent in terms of being made as they have been over the past decade. Sean Wright, Tyler Ford, and Ray Acosta, 21-13 to the under this season. The referee crew that we'll see tonight. So a couple of those guys were over refs last year. So I mean, we should get somebody like John Ryan on the info of how over refs over the last few seasons have turned into under refs and what a big difference that has made in games. You also have the Celtics right now really embracing a methodical approach with Jaylen Brown gone. It's like Brown is one of their better defenders, but the fact that they don't have him on the offensive end has made Ime Udoka, regardless of the fact that he wanted to push when he got hired and the season began, he's really slowed down the pace on the Celtics, and it has resulted in Boston putting up some pretty gaudy defensive numbers in terms of points per game allowed. You've got Jason Tatum coming off a rare good game where he was efficient. I don't expect that to continue. And then, the fact that Taylor Horton Tucker has gotten hot, that's a little bit to the detriment of the under. But for the most part, if this is a LeBron game and we get two of the Celtics' top defenders on the floor in Dennis Schroeder and Robert Williams, who we won't find out about until about 6:30, then that's going to be my play. The under in a very tight, competitive game.
Yeah, I find it interesting. You're right. I mean, I just find it interesting that it didn't stay in that 1.5 range. That the Boston money continues to come in to push us up to 2.5. It's almost as if somebody might know something, Rob, that nobody else does. Just saying. We'll go ahead and let's take a look here at another featured matchup here tonight. And that'll be the Denver Nuggets trying to wash the stink off of whatever the hell that was last night against the Sixers. Taking on the Bulls here. Denver opened up as a 4-point favorite. It looks like 211.5 as a total. And as I take a look, total down to 208.5, and obviously the Chicago money coming in on this one, 1.5 in many spots. So, Kevin Dolan, let me come to you. It's a couple of different ways you can look at this. Does it look like a Denver bounce back spot for you, or is it Bulls or not?
I don't have much on the side here, Joe, in fairness, but I kind of disagree with the total move. I lean over here. Denver shooting, wow, absolutely woeful against Philadelphia, as you said last night. 38 points in the paint, 36% shooting as well from them in that one. Way down from their 45.9% season average. So, I do expect Denver, they can't be much worse, basically. They weren't horrible from 3-point range, in fairness, last time out, but, around the rim especially, really, really poor. And they face the Chicago Bulls team tonight that have the hottest road shooting percentage in the league this season, 48.1%. So, put those two together, I think over is the way to go here. And, when you're talking about 208.5, 209, I think that's some decent value grabbing the over in this one.
All right, liking some points in this one. Interesting there. What do you think, Tony Mejia? How you approach this game? Looks like the market likes the Bulls to after that disgusting loss against Portland in the waning minutes of the fourth there. What do you think?
I think things haven't gone really well for Denver of late. They're dealing with injuries. Michael Porter Jr., despite the fact that he's underachieved this season, he was drawing attention that now has clamped down on other players. And even though Will Barton's playing well, the Nuggets have kind of hit a skid in terms of losing to Dallas by 10, losing to Philadelphia in a game that they were supposed to take care of business in, considering how shorthanded the Sixers are and the altitude, the fact that they don't really experience that very often. And they just got outplayed, managed 89 points. That's the fewest points I think they've managed almost all season. They managed 87 at home against Cleveland early on. And so is this a bounce back spot? You would think that they have the goods to beat a Chicago team without Nikola Vucevic, but the Bulls have been playing so well in terms of small ball. And if Lonzo Ball continues to shoot the ball well, and you have DeRozan and Levine really scoring efficiently, then the Bulls can beat anybody, including Denver. It'll be interesting to see how they handle Jokic, because they only really have one big on the available to them in Daniel Gafford. So if Jokic lands them in foul trouble early, you'll probably see a bunch of double teams, and they'll dare other people to shoot shoot to beat them. And so that to me is an under trend. I think the Bulls have been defending really well since losing Vucevic. They've actually been defending well all year because their second unit is so proficient at that. So maybe that's the way to go here, is to lean on the under.
Yeah, listen, the last of a 5-game road trip here for the Bulls, Rod. They swept the Staples Center, right? The two LA teams. They had that game in Portland until they didn't. But yeah, I think Tony's right. Denver in a little bit of a funk here. It was not a good loss to Dallas, and whatever the hell that was against an Embiid-less Sixers team. Got to scratch your head here with this Denver team. What do you think we get tonight?
Well, if you don't have Nikola Jokic, you don't get anything from him. He's still on the injury report with the sprained wrist, and that's the only advantage, really, Joe, that they have over the Bulls team. The Bulls are a small basketball team. Tony hit on it with Vucevic out. Into the season, Billy Donovan was telling anybody that would listen, we've got to be creative offensively because we have no size. Outside of our starting center, we just have no size. So they want to push. Denver doesn't want to be pushed. They weren't pushed tempo-wise last night by Philadelphia. They just couldn't shoot. Remember, last night, Joe, going into the Denver game, we're worried about Will Barton. Will Barton ends up going. How good is Will Barton, who was questionable right up until the start of the game last night? How good is he going to be on back-to-backs? Yep. I don't know what we'll get out of him. Jokic's wrist, how good will he be on back-to-backs, even if he goes? Way too many questions for the only two guys on Denver that can score. Their bench last night, 6 of 32, 18.8% from the field. They got no bench. It's led by Austin Rivers. They got no bench. Bones Highland, who I like a lot, rookie from this area in Delaware, is actually been on the injury list as well prior to tonight. So he's not totally healthy, even though he's playing. Denver's been a resilient team, and they've overcome a lot personnel-wise. But I don't know they can overcome this. I would think that when you have Levine, when you have DeRozan, when you have Lonzo Ball, you've got the three. If Jokic isn't present on the floor, you got the three best players on the floor by far. You're getting points. I would lean Chicago. Kevin talked total over. If Jokic doesn't go, I could almost see it going over, because I think at that point you can push the Denver Nuggets. If Jokic isn't on the floor, maybe the rest of them run without him. I think the reason why they crawl is because they wait for him on offense to set things up through him. So I really like the Bulls here. I think that's probably the right play.
Yeah, still at plus money right now there. Bulls taking on the Nuggets in that one. We'll move on to our overtime game here, where we'll take a look at a total in one of the games here tonight, and we'll shade ourselves to the biggest total on the board here tonight, and that, well, who else? The Sacramento Kings taking on the Toronto Raptors. 218 is an open. As high as 221 right now, I am seeing in some spots here. So what do we think here with this? Now, again, I think, depending on what the who is going here for tonight in Toronto, because obviously they had some injury concerns there, but Anunoby is still out, I'm seeing there. So still some question marks with this Toronto Raptors team. But Tony Mejia, doesn't matter to you here. The market says keep going up. We're going to get some points in this one. Figured it from Sacramento, but what do you think about this game?
Yeah, I mean, this will be my best bet from a side standpoint, but it's, in terms of the total, I mean, look, I think we're getting to see now what life without OG Anunoby is going to be like, because it's a hip pointer that's supposed to keep him out at least a few games. And then you got Pascal Siakam in the mix again, and that seems to have slowed down Scotty Barnes, who the first few weeks of his NBA career playing a really significant catalyst role, and now he's had to take a bit of a step back. And they drafted his ability to blend in, but certainly we're not getting as much production out of him. And yet, despite that, the over is 4-0 in the Raptors' last 4 games. That's partially because they didn't defend at all last night in the second half against the Jazz. In the first half, they were relying on Fred VanVleet getting hot. They played a 118-113 game against the Blazers in Portland. They beat the shorthanded Sixers earlier in the week, and then lost the 127-121 game against the Pistons. As Cade Cunningham continues to assert himself. So it's a team that's been all over the place. It's a team that really gets their offense based off of turnovers. They force, I think, the most in the entire league, which is a surprising stat. And easy buckets, because considering that they can get out in transition, really fuel the team. So if the Kings are able to take care of the ball, and that's made easier by Tyrese Halliburton being back and playing well again, then I think Sacramento is going to be the way to go. And I'll elaborate more on that in my best bet. From a total standpoint, I mean, it's almost like we're expected to ride the high side here, and we're seeing it continue to climb, and yet at the same time, it's high for 2021, 22 for the past 3-4 seasons. This baby would be what, 235? So, your guess is as good as mine there. We'll see if the back-to-back affects Van Vliet, because they really need him to facilitate and shoot the ball well, just to compete against the Kings.
Yeah, it's interesting. 9-7 to the over there, Rob. Toronto. It's actually Sacramento that's had a hard time going over in spots, but that may have a lot more to do with the over-evaluating of this Kings team in the marketplace. But they're still going. Kings and over here, says the market. What do you think?
Well, I kick myself, Joe, the last 2 Toronto games for not playing both of those games over. I mean, 2 games ago, they played Portland, where Damian Lillard his status was in question, but if you read between the lines, you knew 8 hours before game time he was going to go. I backed off. The game went flying over. Last night, I wanted to play that game over, and the Toronto injuries got in the way of that. It goes over again. Listen, they're just not playing really good defense as of late. It's not necessarily their offense that's getting these games over. Their defense has allowed 52% shooting or better, 52 or better in 4 of the last 6. In 13 of their last 14 games, they haven't held the opponent under 100 points, which is kind of strange this season because everybody's doing well defensively. Games are going under. Toronto's not that team. When you look at what they're putting on the floor, I think you could understand why these games are going over, why they're not playing great defense. Nick Nurse, this team doesn't look like the one that he had a couple of years back. However, on the Sacramento side, I said it earlier, I'll say it again, first game back off of long road trips are troublesome for home teams. Sacramento comes off a 4-game where they were as erratic can be. 51% shooting against San Antonio, game goes flying over. Then they come back with 40% against OKC. Next game, 53% against Detroit, game goes flying over. Then they come back with 37% against Minnesota. So up, down, up, down, up, down with this offense. You can track it back to 4 games prior to that and find the same thing. I don't know what we're getting out of the offense here, but if I just use that seesaw theory, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, they're going to score tonight. And Toronto hasn't stopped anybody from scoring. So I don't know. I could see Sacramento coming out slow first half because, again, they were on the road for a while, and now they come back home. But I don't think I'd be betting under here. I just think too many things line up to play this thing over the total.
All right, looking for the over in that one. What do you think here, Kev? Is it over or not for you here with the Kings and Raptors?
Yeah, definitely laying over for me, Joe. Again, Sacramento's numbers at Minnesota last time out, 36.6% shooting. That's down almost 10% from the home season average this year. And that home form has been a general trend for Sacramento as well this season. They're averaging almost 2% more effective field goal percentage at home this season than they are on the road. They're 3rd in fast break efficiency this season at home, as opposed to 13th on the road. So, this is a team that are, better offensively at home this year, at least metrics wise, while on the other side, Toronto's 3-point percentage this season has actually been better on the road. So, I do think we see an over here tonight between the Raptors and the Kings, and I agree with the line move here.
All right, agrees with the move, going over there, Raptors and Kings. And that does it, guys. Now time for us to take a look here and see what the best bets are of these guys. A lot of games, like we said, 9 games in total on the card tonight. And I have a feeling I know where Tony Mejia is going to kick us off. I know where he's looking, mostly because, he just told us. So 60 seconds on the clock there, Tony Mejia. It is all you, my friend. Talk to us. Best bet tonight. Where are you going?
Yeah, since there's not a lot of mystery here, let's talk about NBA MVP odds. Because we're about 20% of the way in. And Stephen Curry is a huge favorite now. He's in the 230 to 250 range. My MVP for the preseason and who I have a ticket on was Kevin Durant. He's out tonight, but he'll be fine. He is now at plus 500 and was plus 600 earlier in the season. So no real big movement on him, and I still like his chances of ultimately being the MVP. But let's recommend Jimmy Butler for MVP. You can still get him at plus 2,200 at DraftKings and FanDuel. And if the Miami Heat are a great regular season team, you might get some Jimmy Butler love, considering they can't really win without him, and he has such a big imprint on what they do. So Jimmy Butler love for MVP. As far as this game tonight, I don't think the Raptors are going to have much gas on the second night of a back-to-back. Sacramento getting back home after a Tristan Thompson rant. Look for them to blow out the Raptors and lay the point.
All right, dig it, man. Do it right now, Kings. Love that. Good old Jimmy Butler hanging out as a dark horse there. That's great. All right, Rob Vino, talk to me. What do you think here, my friend? 60 seconds on the clock. Where are you going tonight?
I think the Bulls are the right side here, Joe. Yes, it's been an extended road trip, but they are the rested team in this case. And now I'm trying to think of what to say to people that are going to watch this video of when exactly you should play the Bulls. But I don't think, if you wait around till game time and Jokic is announced, you're going to get more points, obviously, with the Bulls. But if you wait around till game time and Jokic is declared out for good, you're going to get less. I would just go ahead and play him now. If Nikola Jokic plays, I just don't see him being as effective as he was last night, considering the wrist injury, and it's back-to-back. It's a back-to-back situation. Will Barton, as I mentioned earlier, same thing. Back-to-back situation, injured. Just can't play these guys. The bench was horrendous. Chicago's got the 3 best offensive players on the floor if, in fact, Jokic is hindered here. So give me the Bulls plus the points. I think they'll win this game pretty easy.
Go with the Bulls here. Wow, it's going to be an interesting game, too. See how Denver reacts after that game last night. Talk to us here, Kev. Which one of these games have you circled? What are you looking at here tonight?
Just to mention quickly first, Joe, obviously huge fight on tomorrow night between Terence Crawford and Sean Porter. We made the breakdown video over on WagerTalk TV on YouTube, so head on over and check that out. Really excited about that fight. I love my boxing. So, yeah, for best bet tonight, I'll take the Orlando Magic. I love backing the worst teams in the league, but this line's come down quite a lot, obviously. But I like it. Look, Brooklyn looks shaky right now to me. Got smacked up by Golden State in their first game back after that road trip on Tuesday. Followed it up then by a very, very shaky finish against the beat-up Cavaliers team on Wednesday. Had to survive that late rally by Cleveland despite being up 23 in the third quarter. So, 10 points is a lot. We talked about the Magic's resilience on Wednesday's show, and I think they stick around here. They just keep going to the end. So, yeah, give me the Orlando Magic tonight plus the points. As my best bet for Friday.
Love it. Love it, too. I am seeing that Doncic is out once again here tonight against Phoenix. Not that that's going to do anything. What are you buzzing me for? I didn't say take Memphis tonight against Houston. What are you buzzing me for here? There you go, guys. Wrap it up here. We got Mejia with the Kings laying at 3.5. And I love it. Dark horse Jimmy Butler to come from the clouds to win the MVP at 22-1. Rob Vino says, Bulls, guys. Bulls against the Denver Nuggets. They got too many issues here at this point. And Kevin Dolan, as he breaks out in hives, utters the word Orlando Magic. That's what happened here. Take the 10, and maybe if you want to parlay it with the Pelican. No, I'm only kidding. Don't do that at all. Kevin's head will explode, guys. Plenty of opportunities right now to make it a profitable weekend. It starts with heading over to WagerTalk.com. Take advantage of the pick your capper situation we got right now. Whether you want to pick Tony Mejia, pick a sport. Pick Rob Vino, pick a sport. Pick, of course, Kevin Dolan, pick a sport. $99 for 30 days. Get their plays in that sport for 30 days, just $99. This goes away on Sunday, guys. So this would be a tremendous opportunity right now because it also includes their 5% best bets here. So 30 days, $99. Head over to WagerTalk.com. No coupon needed. It is there. The offer is on their page. Take advantage of it. And on behalf of Tony Mejia, Rob, Vino, and Kevin Dolan, guys, we certainly appreciate the support. Appreciate all the time. More importantly, have a great weekend, a profitable weekend. Come back and join us on Monday, and we'll do it all over again. Good luck, guys. We'll talk to you on Monday.
The Wager Talk You Pick special is live, giving you the option to pick the league of your choice and get 30 days of picks for only $99. 30 days of the NFL for $99, done. Just want NBA and NHL for the next month? You can do that for only $99 each. That's right, $99 gets you every release from the league of your choice from your favorite handicapper, including 5% best bets for 30 days. No coupon code is required, and 30-day sports passes will go back to regular price Sunday at midnight. So lock in as many sports and handicappers for only $99 before time runs out.